Hello and welcome to Mike's Miracle Juggling.
Yay!
I am Mike, Miracle Juggler.
Yeah!
I have not performed juggling live in nearly 31 years, but tonight I will share with you the miracle of juggling along with my life story. About the battle over my eternal soul with the devil as I overcame the sadness in my heart from being a trained assassin. Here is my story. Many years ago, in a quiet village on top of a mountain, the Cascade family lived a peaceful life. At just 3 years of age, I was recognized by Juggle Weekly as a standout rising star. The late Artie Balltosser called me a bright star and put me on his personal top 40 jugglers of the year. Then one day, it all came crashing down. Despite this day turning sour eventually, it started out a very special one to me. It was special because it was a day I would finally receive my official competition juggling balls from my father. They were signed by the same Artie Balltosser mentioned earlier. He was known in juggling circles as the Michael Jordan of juggling. I was proud. Why are you laughing? The day eventually wound down, and as I made my way upstairs, I looked back at my father and said, "Dad, I'll love you forever, and I hope you never die."
Why are you laughing?
I'm not. I awoke from my bed after hearing a loud disturbance. There he was. I was staring.
Yes, you can!
I was staring death in the face. His dark eyes stared back at me coldly as he pressed his weapon against my chest. His grip on his sword tightened as his eyes widened. This was it for me. All the potential in the world dashed away at the age of 3. And then a tear. He couldn't do it. Despite giving orders to kill my family and so far succeeding by killing my dear mother and father, he just couldn't kill a child. So he took me under his wing, and I fell into the dark world of assassins. And despite him carrying the burden of being my father, I never forgot what he did. And when the moment was right, I would take his life. All right, time for juggling. Where's Hunter? Where's my protege? Hunter, where are you?
Right here.
Hey.
Right here.
Hey, how's it going? I know this is a big day for you.
Hi guys.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What are you gonna do? You gonna do balls? You gonna do balls first?
I have lots of balls for you guys.
All right. So proud of you.
I'm so nervous, guys.
So proud of you.
I'm nervous. Wait, those are my balls. Those are my balls.
Go Hunter!
My first performance ever. I'm sorry. I'm such a fuck up compared to the Miracle Mike.
Yeah, go Hunter! Are you ready for juggling? You're a miracle hunter.
Greatest day of my life.
Never have I been shown such
My story continues. Many years had passed. My master in new parental unit, Ninja Dan, has sharpened my skills to a fine sheen. He taught me discipline, self-preservation, and most importantly, the ancient teachings of the Dark Aquatic Hand. This fluid fighting style enabled me to become one of Dan's top assassins. No, I was his best, and everyone knew it, including him. He would never admit it, but he was frightened of me. Frightened of the monster he had created. He knew he had to take care of this before I became too powerful. On a cold night, he snuck into my sleeping quarters. He drew his weapon and proceeded to make his way towards my sleeping plank. Ninja Dan threw the covers on the ground, only to see a sack of potatoes where my unconscious body was supposed to be. I quickly rolled out from a secret crawl space I had been building for quite some time, unsheathed my katana and slit both of his Achilles tendons. As I turned him over, he clutched me by the collar, pulled me close. He locked eyes with me and said, "Your training is complete, son." I yelled at the top of my lungs and shoved my thumbs into his eyes. His blood was gushing out and dripping down my hands. My transformation was complete. I was the ultimate assassin. And now we're juggling.
You want me to juggle this time? Yeah, sure. Wait. Nah, let's see Hunter again. Let's see Hunter do it.
Yeah, go Hunter! Oh shit, pins! Go Hunter! He's the best juggler I've ever seen outside of myself.
You're the best. I love you.
I love you too, Hunter. My story continues. As my rank grew in the League of Assassins, my soul grew even darker. I was unstoppable, the best at what I did, but with an ever-growing empty feeling. I had become even more cold and callous than the monster that killed my family, Ninja Dan. But on a cold and stormy night, what would have normally been a routine contract for me ended up changing my life forever. I arrived at my target's location in chilly Toronto, home of the NBA champions and other such Canadian folk like Ryan Gosling, Ryan Reynolds, or Christopher Plummer, who I sometimes confuse with Jack Palance. Can you believe he's still alive? Anyway, I snuck in my next paycheck's hotel room and awaited his arrival. I watched as he arrived, floating above his head along the ceiling, using the levitation techniques passed down to me from Ninja Dan. One of my shurikens slipped out of my gi and made a piercing thud atop a small wooden box that laid next to his suitcase. A rookie mistake for sure, but not one that I would be paying for this day. Before his eyes even began to move towards me, I pounced. No, I lost everything. I left this life behind. I won't say anything. Please don't do this, he said. I responded to him with a cold stare and shot back with, that's not my call to make. You mean nothing to me. You're just another notch in my bedpost. Not the sex one, mind you, the one that pertains to murdering people for money. I struck him. It was done. But the box my shuriken had struck, inside of it were several tennis balls, and one of them was signed by R.T. Ball Tosser, the Michael Jordan of juggling. I had just killed my father. Yeah, more juggling! Alright, what do we got over here? Hi, does anyone in the audience know how to juggle?
Sure, I'll.
Oh yeah, you! Woo! You!
Brad!
What's your name, son?
Brad.
It's nice to meet you. I bet you're a great juggler outside of me, the best juggler of all time.
I don't know much about juggling. Maybe you can show me some.
What do you want to juggle? How about some bowels? All right. Want some music?
Sure.
All right, cool.
Mike will never love you as much as he loves me.
Oh, that's fair.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. I felt inspired by what you said.
That was miraculous, guys.
What are you drinking, Mike? Soda. My story has reached its conclusion. How could my father have possibly been alive all this time? I had so many questions. Questions that he answered in this letter here. Dearest son, I know that you finding me here after all this time is puzzling, and your mind must be spinning after having killed me. Man, that had to really fuck you up really good. However, by the end of my letter, everything will make some amount of sense. While I did suffer mortal wounds that night and was flung off the mountainside, left bleeding to death as a pack of wolves slowly closed in on my dying body, I had mastered the technique of fast ninja heal. A technique passed down to me by my ninja master, Ninja Dan. I too once had succumbed to the dark path of assassinry. And yes, my master was the very same one who trained you. I managed to escape assassinhood by believing in the power of juggling and changing my identity with the help of a fellow contract killer. I managed to escape for a long while, but it all eventually caught up with me, which led to the events that led to you down this dark path, and eventually here, the conclusion of your convoluted journey. Take these balls, son. They are yours, after all. And just remember, with the power of juggling, anything is possible. And from that day forward, I left the world of assassinry behind. As my soul began to heal, I met my protege Hunter here. Everyone, give Hunter a hand for his beautiful, magical, miracle juggling. Watching him grow as an artist and human being brings me joy every day. Wait, these pages are stuck together. Why didn't I notice this before? I must have just been like so weirded out by everything that was happening. I just never noticed there's a second page. P.S. I know your love of juggling is important and you should keep it in your life. But the praise you received at such a young age was a farce. We used it to pump up your very low self-esteem. Artie Balltosser is not a real person. That was just my signature on a tennis ball. Juggle Weekly is also not a real publication. You see, I had total control over the town as I had been funding most of its businesses with all that assassin money I had built up. The situation you were in was similar to like The Truman Show or Less Good Ed TV. I was hoping to ease you out of it in a year or so, but that all came to an end on that fateful day. You are, however, a great teacher. Even at the age of 3, you trained many children to become very adept at juggling. Despite you being such an embarrassing failure at it. My advice to you is to teach others, and through that, you will make the world a better place. Love you forever, Dad.
Yeah!
Ah, fuck him, I can juggle.
No, are you sure about this, Mike? You don't have
I can do this!
For juggling.
I'm in trouble, guys.
Why didn't you tell me?
It's not my fault. You're just so... We love you so much, Mike. We just wanted you to be happy.
Your happiness makes me happy, son.
Aww. That's the first time you called me son. Because I am actually your son.
Hey, what? I love you so much, son. I hope we can do this forever.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go back to murdering people for money. It really sucks. Watching the life leave their eyes. 1, 2, sometimes 10 times a day. I'm a monster. All right, that was good. Good. Show's over. Yeah.
Captain, my captain. One more song.
You want to do one more?
Fuck no.
Okay.